You know, it's funny how perception can become reality, or we can do things that are probably outside of our wheelhouse normally because other people expect it of us in a way, or we are trying to live up to an ideal, especially like in a cult sense. Let me clarify what I'm talking about here. When Saddam Hussein had been, he lost his country. Iraq was invaded and taken over. He went into hiding, and his two sons went into hiding, right? And his sons were apparently worse than he was, but I think they were trying, because, you got to remember, like, some people may be too young to remember this, because this all happened 20 years ago now, right? So if you're 30, you probably don't remember this shit. But Saddam Hussein had this big, tough guy image. I'm awesome. I'm a military guy. I don't think he was ever in the military. I don't know his whole biography, but I don't think he's ever in the military. I think he was puffed up. He was a blowfish. I'm a badass. Ha ha ha! Fear my wrath, right? Like, he had this big badass gangster persona, walking around with pistols, on his hips, and he had the hat. He always wore the uniform and shit. Couldn't bust a fucking grape. He was a punk, right? Punk ass. I knew he had bitch in him way back. Back when he was back before the invasion, he was talking on shit. I just smelled bitch on him, right? You can smell bitch from 1,000 miles away. I just had that vibe from him, right? But his sons were drinking the Kool-Aid. His sons thought he was a badass. His sons put on the same persona, but they were living it. They had gone native. They lived it for so long they believed that they were badasses, right? Saddam Hussein knew he was a bitch. He never drank the Kool-Aid. He never lived the lie. He never wore the mask so long that the mask was attached to his face. He always knew deep down he was a coward punk ass bitch, right? So, when his two sons got surrounded by the military or somebody, right? It may have been the Iraqi military, it may have been Americans, I can't remember. They went out in a blaze of glory. It was like, come out, drop your weapons, and come into custody, and we'll try you with a jury of your peers, and you'll be tried and probably convicted and executed, but it'll be done in a civil way, right? And they said, eat our asses, and they opened fire with their machine guns, and they were massacred in a blaze of glory. They went out in a blaze of glory, right? Like, rather than be captured, humiliated, and dragged through the streets, hey, look, we caught Saddam Hussein's sons. They didn't want their father to think less of them. They thought their father was this big, brave badass, right? And they wanted to live up to that persona. They couldn't be captured because their father would be disappointed in them. Just the mere thought of their father being disappointed in them made them open fire and die in the streets like dogs. Shot down. But gotta give them this. They weren't bitches. They weren't cowards. They pulled the trigger. They knew the consequences. They knew they were going to die when they pulled that trigger. And they did it anyway. Can't call them a coward, right? I think they were idiots. They were psychos. And they were idiots to die for a man who wouldn't do the same thing. They were afraid of disappointing a man who was a coward punk ass bitch. They couldn't see what he was, right? Saddam Hussein gets caught in his little spider hole. He's a little hole buried in the ground. The military surrounds it. They open it up. All right, come out, or we're going to drop a grenade in there and kill your ass. What's it going to be? Now, his sons went out in a blaze of glory because they didn't want to disappoint him. What did Saddam Hussein do? I quit. He surrendered, like the coward bitch he was. Pulled out of the spider hole, put on trial, and executed. Well, found guilty, of course. Let's not skip that part. Probably a kangaroo court, but he did so much shit. He oppressed his people, and so many people died. They had mountains of evidence. The trial took forever, right? It took a long time. The only thing I remember about the trial was at one point he cussed out the judge, and then the judge had him gagged or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, he was dragged through the streets like the dog he was, put on a show trial, and everybody could watch TV every day, him being humiliated on trial, and then he was executed like a dog. I think he was strung up. I think he was hanged or some shit. Went out like a bitch. So, what's the moral of the story? The sons drank the Kool-Aid. They lived the dream. They believed in the cult shit. And they went out like gangsters. Who's that sound like? Reptile Boy. Well, Shark Boy. It sounds like Shark Boy, right? He did that rather than disappoint Toby. Here's the question I have. Is it the same thing? Is it You have the minion who didn't want to have the humiliation of his boss finding out that he gave it up. He surrendered to try to save a few more minutes of his life. What is Saddam by himself? 9 months of life? Being starved in prison, being humiliated every day, people treating him like shit, probably talking shit to him. We'll never know. God knows what the guards did to him, right? He bought himself 9 months of misery because he was so afraid to die, right? Shark Boy, rather than do that, he didn't want to embarrass his boss. So he goes out like a gangster. Now, was he really a gangster, or was he just trying not to embarrass himself in front of his boss? I don't know. It's open to interpretation. My question is, what happens when Toby is put in the same position? Will he go meekly to... Now, I don't know what would happen. Like, say you capture somebody. Like, what would they do? Is there a ninja prison somewhere? Do they put him on trial and execute him? Do they have a death penalty in any of these villages? I'm sure they do. I would assume so. So, would this be the similar situation where you surrender and you're trading your dignity for a couple months of life before they summarily execute you anyway? Maybe they have a show trial, maybe they don't. Is Toby going to bitch out when it comes to it? I'm very curious about this. I thought about the parallel between episodes, right? I'm very impressed with his heroic sacrifice. Heroic is probably the wrong word. I'm very impressed with Shark Boy's sacrifice. Kisame. Let's put some respect in his name. Kisame. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. Like, that is badass, man. But did he do it for the right reasons? Did he do it for the dream? Was he doing it just to not embarrass himself for his boss? Or was that just the way he was? Some people are just like that. Man, I ain't telling you shit. Kiss my ass. Right? I'll go out in a blaze of glory. Was that what it was? Or, it'll be interesting to see, like, when I'm sure Toby will be killed at some point. Will he be killed in battle? Will he be put in a position where he can either surrender or die? And does he surrender? Remember this, because I'm going to be gloating if he does surrender later, if he bitches out like Saddam Hussein did. If not, hey, it's all good. At least you lived up to example, because Saddam Hussein couldn't live up to the example his son set. His son set an example he couldn't live up to. And they were just trying to live up to what they thought he would do, right? I really wish he had gotten captured first, so the sons look at the news like, damn, he surrendered? He bitched out? Holy shit. Well, maybe we don't have to die for nothing, right? They probably committed enough crimes, they would have been executed anyway. But, I don't know. So, it's fun to think about in this context, the fictional context. How's Toby going to react when we get there? Well, we'll see soon enough. All right, let's get into it. We're going on one. 3, 2, 1. I always do that monk music. I like it. I'm not hating. Chorus music. The voice is the instrument. I always dig that shit. It feels very religious and culty. Yeah, no shit. You keep losing people. Why, you felt judged? They love talking shit to each other. It feels like foreplay. He ain't trusting shit. Nope. That's what I said. Yeah, mind your own beeswax. I like their bitchy little bickering. Two of my favorite characters are making it to the end. I like it. Of the ones who have died, I don't think I guess Hidon, I would like to see more of him. He talked a lot of shit. Maybe he's back, maybe he's not. We're not sure. Could just be a zombie. Oh shit, is that Flower Girl? Yeah. Yeah, it is. What you been up to? You're still wearing a robe. That's not good. Are you still evil? So we're doing a flashback, huh? More backstory. Maybe I'll have to elevate his backstory again. The hell? Sorry. Stepped on my dick trying to pee. You need to kill it. What are you, a drug user? What? Oh, shit. Did he check on him? Was this during the... This must be during the training. It's not when, after he had left. Because they seemed... I think they were bigger when he left. Hey, man. Fond memories. Everybody else in that memory is dead. It's always weird, right? You're the last person to remember something. It's like you're the keeper of the flame, in a way. There's a scene in Sons of Anarchy. No spoilers. But the very first episode, there's a scene with like 7 people. And I was watching it because I'd seen the whole series like several times. And I realized 6 of the 7 people in this scene would end up dead before the end of the series. It was weird. It was like, okay, this is the one person he'll... You know, it was a conversation between these 7 people bantering. They were happy. They're, you know, sharing jokes and stuff. By the end of the series, only one person's going to be left with this memory. He's the keeper of the flame. He's the only one left that remembers this happened. I doubt any of them told anybody. It wasn't something you would tell. It was just a regular interaction. Everybody's having fun. They're joking. It's the beginning of the series. It's all fun and games. Nobody's mad at each other yet. You know, and it's just... those things are kind of weird because I remember... there's a couple members I have of just me, Dad, and Mom. Of course, Dad and Mom are gone now. So I'm the only person who remembers this. I haven't told anybody about these things. I'm the keeper of the flame, right? She is. She's the keeper of the flame. There's all these interactions they had. All these years of being together, the 3 of them and even the 4 of them. The rest of them are gone now. The only one who remembers that shit. Yeah, it's just wild, man. It's always raining in this city. You guys need what are you in the monsoon season? He's back here to pick her up. He's going to give her some shit. Recruiter. Either killer or recruiter. Huh. Huh. I'm out of here. She wants him to be revived, right? Or Toby wants that corpse to revive it, right? Yep, we're flying away. Eat our paper asses. Paper in the rain. It doesn't feel like that would work, right? Unless it's clay again. Is it clay? Never can tell. That other one looked like a paper airplane at the beginning of the series. She's really giving me paper vibes, though. Yeah, see, like you got the paper sound. This is definitely paper. In the rain. This would be a good way to get around. Of course, he can teleport. Yeah. Anywhere you go, he's going to find you. That's what I just said. Have you checked up your ass? I'm going to tear your ass up. Well, you wouldn't understand. You don't have a heart. You want to bring him back to life just to punish him. Yep, we remember. Well, that village got trashed, man. Look at that rubble. Jesus. Yep, your snitch. Your snitch told him everything. Well, check out my blog. Talked about it there. Empathy, man. An anime character who won't forgive somebody. Wow. Never seen that before. This is a great scene, man. He just stays hating, man. Hater. You blew his mind. Yep. He knew just how to get to him, man. This makes sense because the long, detailed flashback of shit we've already seen. Because it's probably been a year since this aired. If you're watching week to week, right? Because you had the filler too, right? Maybe longer than a year. I feel like this happened around 150 though. So like it's been a long 150. That'd be 2 years, wouldn't it? If it's 100 episodes. So it makes sense. They didn't have streaming back then. So some people may vaguely remember this, but not remember the details of the conversation, right? So I get it. I don't think you would do this in anime now, when you know that they can binge and go back and watch any episode they want to. It's just hard on a reactor because if I just saw this a month ago, and as I think I did, then there's not much else to add to it, right? I think it depends on how long he's going to do this. If if he's like fighting and just fighting the good fight, right? Trying to resist all these threats, kind of like Buffy. There's always another threat. If you do that for 7 years, you can keep to your ideals. If you do it for 20 years, you're gonna burn out. So I have a feeling like once you get rid of Toby and Sasuke and I guess Kabuto, you're good, right? Like there's not going to be another threat for a while, so you can chill out and recharge and keep your ideals. So I think his force of willpower and personality is enough to sustain him long enough to get this shit done. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You think Jiraiya has a couple little bastards out there? The dude seemed to be pretty loose morals. I would love to think that he has a kid out there somewhere. Yeah, I'm out of here. Oh, after a commercial break, I'm out of here. Yeah, why do you wear that cloak? That's right. That's why she was a true believer. She's making points, man. She's dropping bars, as the kids say. Her, this whole paper thing is cool, man. I love the paper aesthetic. Really. Yeah, I don't believe you. Well, you just blew her mind. Man, capture these paper nuts. She needs to get the hell out of here, man. Attacking him is foolish. He's just going to get transparent. He talking shit. This is a clone. Don't believe this shit. She wouldn't do that. That's idiotic. Yeah. Yeah. Deuces. Nice transition. And gorillas are terrible at war. I love that I was just talking shit about their backstory, and then we get more of it. I would watch a spin-off 12 episode miniseries of those three kids, their path to the dark side, right? That dude's got a great voice. There's a lot of that on this show. It does rain a lot here. Jesus Christ, man. There must be mountains nearby, right? Yeah. I'm out of here. See you on the flip side. I'm going to get some fast food. Why were you peeping? According to this flashback, anyway. Now you just burned up paper. I think it was a paper clone. Whatever you're seeing on the screen is not what happened. Oh, Jesus. Holy shit. He blew her the hell up, man. Or she blew him the hell up. Yeah. Idiot. Yeah, I was there. Why are you telling me what I already know? I can do it again. Come in close to me again. Yeah, she blew him the hell up. Yeah, I don't care. I like his mask blown up. She hit it somewhere in the desert, I think. Look at this. Look where they are. No, she went away with him. That's right. I remember now. We didn't see what they did with the body. You ain't going nowhere, man. You should have ran the first time you saw Toby. Here, have some paper flowers. I like that. You're poetic as hell. Take the flowers, you dick. Jesus. Yeah. She's growing on me. Yeah. She didn't come crawling back to him. I thought she might. No, she's standing on business. Jesus. The hell? Her power is strong as hell, man. Look at this shit. Damn. Just to explain the mountain thing, just in case you didn't know. There's a place in the world that has monsoons all the time. I think it's India? Somewhere in that area. Maybe Pakistan. It could be one of those other regions. But, they have those really tall mountains, right? So what happens is so you have a mountain that goes like this, right? And then you have a village located right here at the base of the mountain, essentially. And so the air travels up the mountain because air blows around and it's going to circulate around the world, right? So air travels up the mountain, over the mountain, and down past the mountain to whatever's beyond there. Usually a desert. And so what happens is, as it travels up the mountain, it releases all the moisture that's in it. It's collect all this moisture. You got rainforests and jungles and shit, so it's collect a lot of moisture. But it can't make it up the mountain and hold in the moisture. So it releases the moisture in rain, in the form of rain, goes up over the mountain, and then what happens on the backside of the mountain? This, by the way, is the case in California. You have these mountains in California. Well, the air travels up the Denver side of California, releases the rain, and comes down, and so there's no moisture in the air when it comes to the backside of the mountain and into California and then into the ocean, right? The air is traveling that way. That's why California is a desert, most of it. That's why they have to import water from the rest of the world, or the rest of the country. So they must, for it to be raining constantly, this is not normal rain. It's not rain coming from clouds, right? It's rain coming from this air that's holding this moisture traveling up the mountain, and it can't get to the top of the mountain unless it releases the moisture. That's why it rains all this monsoon season. And I don't know all the details, but I think monsoon season means that the air is traveling a certain direction for about 3 months out of the year. And then the air changes direction, it doesn't travel that direction anymore, so then you don't get rain every effing day. You get rain every effing day for 3 months, and then you have normal weather for the other 9 months. Something like that, right? So the fact that this town is always raining, they must be really close to some mountains. The air must be traveling that way. That's the only thing that makes sense with what we understand of, they could have a different planet. Maybe they have 7 moons or something, and that creates some kind of weather pattern we just don't have here on Earth. I don't know. But that's a deep, nerdy dive into weather. But that's probably why it rains all the effing time in this town. Move to the other side of the mountain, you won't get rain on time. You know what you'll get? A bunch of dry-ass air. Be dry all the time, skin be brittle, hot. Probably not pleasant either. So you want to get rain on your ass all the time, or you want to be hot, dry weather, your skin cracking and shit. You need like 17 gallons of skin lotion a year, right? Not very good. Maybe you can move to some other part. Those two are not very good options. But none of that has to do with the episode, other than the fact he was complaining about rain all the time. I like her. She's standing on business, man. I like her. I wish I had included her with the. Where do I have her? In the character pyramid. Flower hair. I kept her on villain antagonist. She's at the very bottom because she hasn't been doing shit anyway lately. I don't know what her name is. But next time I do the character pyramid, I will move her up. Because right now she's at the very bottom of villains antagonists. The last person on the list, right? She's going to move up. Because I like her style. I like she ain't screwing around. I like that she stands on business. So, yeah. She's about that life.